A limitation in getting your elbows up in a front rack position is often due to something all the way up the chain, your big lat muscles. Now, what are the lats? The lats are very strong and powerful muscles that run all the way from the low back up and attach onto your humerus, your arm bone. Now, when they turn on and contract, internally rotate the shoulders. And what that means is that if you have poor flexibility in your lats, it's going to limit how high you can get your arm into flexion and how much you can externally rotate your shoulder. Now, when we go into a front rack position, we need flexion of your shoulder and external rotation because we want our front rack position to have our shoulders and our arms in this position. That's an externally rotated position. So if we have limited lat flexibility, that's going to hinder our ability to get into a front rack position. And I find that more often than not, the lats are the limiting factor in getting into a good front rack position. So today what I'm going to show you is how to do a good screen for your lats in 3 ways you can improve the flexibility of those muscles so that we can then get into a better front rack position. So always test, retest. So first things first, let's test. We're going to come on over here. All you're going to need is a PVC pipe. Now we're going to sit by a wall, cross-legged, and I want your back semi-flat against the wall. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. You don't have to tuck your pelvis under, but you're going to be in a good position like this, shoulders back. We're going to start in that front rack position. Remember, they're not too close. We're going to be a little bit wider, palms down. Now in this position, I'm internally rotated, and I want you to see how far can you go back towards the wall. Now you can see in this position, I'm pretty close without my back having to pop off the wall and overarch. So I want to keep my back fairly close to the wall. How high can I go? So I'm close to the wall, but not great. Now what we're going to do is externally rotate the arm. So we're going to turn our palms up. What is this doing? It's putting a stretch on the lats. So if the lats are stiff and tight, it's not going to allow me to get nearly as far as it was the other way. So in this position, I'm now going to go. That's about the end range I have right there. So you can see there's a difference when I externally rotated my shoulders, put a stretch on the lats. Now I can't get nearly as high. Now, what I'm going to show you guys are 3 different ways you can address that lat flexibility issue. The first one, soft tissue mobilization with a foam roller. You're just going to find a foam roller. Now again, where do the lats run? They come all the way from the bottom of the low back and they run towards the outside of that armpit and attach right here. So we are going to foam roll right into that area. You're going to lay on your side, pin that foam roller right into that lateral armpit. Arm is palm up, externally rotated, and we're just going to roll nice and slowly up and down that lat until you find a spot that maybe is a little tender, a little bit painful. Okay, and once you find that spot, I want you to sit on it for a couple seconds. Don't move. From right here, after about 10 seconds or so, you can slowly bring that arm up and down, sort of pin, tack it down, stretch that muscle up and down, a little bit of active motion with the soft tissue mobilization of that muscle. And again, something like this, I'd maybe do about 1 minute, 2 minutes on each side. We're just gonna do my left side today for right now. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is a stretch. What you're gonna find, take that same PVC pipe. We are going to get a box. You can use a bench if you want to. You're gonna get your hands in this position. We're externally rotated. So again, we're putting a stretch on the lats. Hands are in a V position. You're gonna find the box. You're gonna kneel down by it. Now, in this position, what we're gonna do is we are going to round our back and sit back like this. Now, the reason we round the back and not arch the back, you'll see a lot of people will do something like this. When you arch the back, you're hitting more so the thoracic spine, that mid-back. Because the lats run from down here at the low back and attach all the way up at your humerus bone, we can give an extra stretch if we posteriorly pelvic tilt, round the back a little bit, and go into external rotation. So basically think about we're stretching the muscle from both sides. So externally rotated position, you're going to round your back, sit back like this, and if you're doing this correctly, you're gonna feel a really good stretch on the lateral side of your arm, basically where that armpit runs. So I'm gonna do 3 of them right now for about a 10-second hold. So sit back, a couple deep breaths in and out. Feel that muscle getting stretched. Back up. Maybe try to get my elbows in a little bit more of an externally rotated position. Sit back. Deep breaths in and out. Feel those muscles being stretched. Sometimes you can just change your position up a little bit. See what works best with you to try to get that effective stretch. Okay, so that's about 3 for 10 seconds. The last thing I want to show you guys is an eccentric curl up. A lot of people, when we think about improving flexibility, we think soft tissue mobilization, we think stretching, but we don't think eccentric contractions. Now, an eccentric contraction means that we're lengthening the muscle under tension, and it's been shown in research to be very effective at times to improve flexibility of a muscle. So how do we get a loaded tension on that flat lat? Basically, we're going to do a curl up, hands in an externally rotated position. You're going to jump to the top because, again, we're only doing the eccentric component of the movement. So you're going to jump to the top and you're going to slowly lower. Time under tension, 5 seconds, all the way down to the bottom. And at that bottom, you're going to feel that lat stretching a little bit. But the entire time, you're doing an eccentric lengthening of the lat. It's in a contracted position here, and it's lengthening as you go down. I'm gonna do 3 of them for a 5-second lower, sort of hanging at the bottom for a second, feeling my shoulder blades pop out to the side, and then we're gonna retest. So, hands in that wide position. We're gonna jump up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch. Back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just hanging right there, I can feel a really good stretch in my lats. Sometimes you can just do a short hang like this. Make sure that your back isn't arching like crazy. And again, drop down. Now, those are the 3 things right there that can be very effective at times. So always get back under the barbell and let's see what it looks like. So again, I'm taking my grip, normal front squat or clean grip, whichever one you're trying to work for. Hands underneath the barbell. From right here, I can already feel my elbows are up a little bit higher. That's gonna help me get into a good front rack position with my elbows up high. Now, I'm ready to load the bar up.